In the river of my dream, I'm ankle deep in the water's muddy froth, my cuffs rolled up. A manatee or alligator swims at me and rises, hugely brown. It's the size of a submarine with dull, enormous eyes. You call it hell dog and begin to flee. The narrator of the dream informs, the hell dog rises from the river, fixes its eyes on the head of its target prey. I'm about to miss my flight for Panama, having dallied too long in your arms. Meanwhile, on the coffee table, an orange deer circles its glass. It is a small restitution. Apricot syrup and hearts of palm, stiffened with dust in the pantry, these things keep. How each mahogany chair leg prefigures elegy. Of memory, permit a scap. Of pollen, suffice it to say, a single grain. Later, we walk through winter, each small hesitation recorded in the snow. Narrow the spans, remorse, intent, narrow the bands of light. We do not indulge in jungles, savannas, or the sky. The seconds tick by like boxcars. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. And the next one I'm going to read is called Afternoon Traffic and Weather. And this not only has true dreams, but it has a true commute to work. Which for me, this last few years, it's been 2 hours each way. So I have a lot of time to think and write poems. And the news blurb that begins it is also true. The strong man who bent quarters with his teeth until age 105 was struck and killed by a minivan today. And the dog will not stop growling at the shadows of birds on the house next door, blown out shapes on siding, black on green. There are 2 types of houses, those on which the birds cast shadows and those on which they don't. I'm the first kind of house, but you knew that already. How driving to work, I mistook a bumper sticker, safety is my goal, for one that read, no beauty is in my soul. God damn these happy people and their television sets. I beg them to stop the shining, but I just can't look away. Because one day at a time is a trick for saying never, and I still don't understand where I made the first mistake, but it must have been a doozy. Dear metal barricade, dear rack of lamb, forgive me. The nasty thing I said was nothing compared with what I meant to say. I thought I was beautiful all this time. I thought I could make a go. When I stood stock still in the crosswalk, in my head, it all made sense. And when I worked in Kenosha, I was often stopped by the freight trains at the crossing, of course, when I was running late. So I had a lot of freight trains in my poems, and I'm going to read one of those that was written thinking about that rail crossing, actually. This is called Transit. A whole air stricken, flash and count. A freight train splits the crossing, pushing ahead of it its cone of light. How the rage of effort equals the rage of I, as cars tilt past a film reel's grainy frames. What's lonesome in you heaves and jerks a severed arm beside the right-of-way. Or how, on a different train, the passengers sleep for hours with their dreams of pie and sex and rusty gears. Scenery doesn't interest them. The orange moon pressed against horizon's skin, the silo's phallus jutting towards its sky. Soon they'll sleep past scrapyards full of gleaming, broken cars. 2 rails rush and simmer at their feet. What tempts you is the crossing, the slaughter's easy yaw, as if in the cant of wheat fields, some prophecy, as yet unread, abides. I'm going to read one more from Undertow. This is called Hymn, as in what you sing in church, or don't, perhaps. The pink troll of our decade snickers from under its bridge as the country goes crazy for Jesus and the gray men in the alley start to stink. I'm humming under my breath in the key of doubt as you pray to the God of washrooms, make us clean. Each day's bitter ribbon and its calculus of light, I sing, O bastard of my heart, be still. Your God is a God of mirrors, and the house a paper wasp builds is paper. There are broken slats in every tiny thing. The pupa and its carapace, the celery salt, the stalk, the way my birchy skin peels off, your henned hand, your hand, how grief runs through me like a pack of eels. Silver and colloidal, the tides have seen us coming and turn back. Like them, our work is breakage, to plunder to, from, fro. Inside us, something pliant, soiled, bearing the dent of thumbs. And I'm going to now read some newer work. This is called Bone In, Bone Out. How gaunt the wires are. The air, I once believed, whatever cries the tawny birds emit, that something held us, God of lipstick, God of sticky notes. Now I scale the trestle, its spine of rotten wood, to tag the rusty angles with my name, with something, sign or pictograph, O God of black electric lines, Lord of high-speed trains, if I lift up my skirt for you beneath the overpass, if I kneel down and let you fill my mouth, will you touch me where I cannot reach, admit me to myself? I promise I'll stop popping off the heads of baby rabbits, little silky mice, and other restless creatures that scuffle in the walls, shells of peas in the pea pan, yards and yards of wool I'll never knit. I'm going to read a poem that I have not read before. This is an exclusive. Fairly new. This is called Dear Imperfect Stranger. Dear imperfect stranger, I will never love winter as you do, though there is a case to be made for being, as they call it, in extremity, with purple swollen ankle or meshed in the breathy dark. And how long must I wait to tell you that I love the imperious geese, how they eye me with their small black eyes as I cross the sloppy lawn, that I love the taste of my knuckles crammed in my very own mouth, or the way my cringing cities fell and buckled into flame. But let us please not speak of what is bearable. And thinking of home as we were, didn't there used to be coffee cups and salmon in a pan beside the stove? Weren't there forks enough for guests? And how many hands are holding us, do you think? Does violence make us stronger? Because I too hate what might be called the insistently innocent, though the truly innocent are okay, I guess. And how long should I wait to say that our injuries swell to meet us, though I am, of course, fully intact? And I know you rise from your bed at night to bandage the knife in the drawer, to drink brine from the pickle jar secretly without envy or regret. How long has your mouth been waiting at exit 24B, skirting you slowly in the roundabout? And what did you mean exactly when you called me beautiful? Don't answer that, IS. There are some things that don't bear answering. But remember the horizon, all crinkling waves and salt, how we loved the silver weather balloon that crumpled in the air? I have the wrong kind of wishing. And every day my broken bones are knitting themselves back wrong. And though I cannot chance as you would the cold vernacular, still I want to risk it. And how many times do I have to tell you this? Okay, I'm going to read a few more. This is called On the Obsolescence of Prayer. I don't know if my friend Dana is here, but I stole a line from her, or a joke from her that is, she's always said she wants a tattoo of herself all over herself, only thinner. And there is also a visit to the gynecologist, again, completely true. And a quote from the artist Eve Klein, who said that all colors have dimension except for blue, which has no dimensions because it is beyond dimension. And I was in Minneapolis at the Walker Art Center last January, and I saw they had this retrospective, and I saw that quote, and I thought, that's awesome. So I put that in here too. On the obsolescence of prayer. Because my mouth is a twin embarrassment. One, the shape of my wiry lips, and two, my crooked teeth. Then three, this tongue that limps and snags on speech. I mean, it speaks but does not speak me well. Today it's a different color. Black would be hyperbolic, so let's call it indigo. Let's call it mouse with strychnine. Let's call it archipelago of doubt. Because blue has no dimension. Blue is beyond dimension. And when I said despair has its foot on my neck, did you think I meant my suffering was allegorical? What I mean is that I trust you, but maybe not enough. And if you gave me a field of daffodils, I'd gouge out both my eyes. You see, because as the gynecologist said, your cervix today looks friable. And I thought, like a steak? Be sure to see your PCP. And I thought, I don't do drugs, but on second thought, it seems like a good idea. There's a lot to be said for prevention, for staying a little starved. Because all I've ever wanted is a tattoo of myself all over myself, only thinner, or maybe failing that, someplace quiet and warm. You see, I'm lost in a forest I dreamed up on my own. All night I've listened to the leaves' applause, the gossip of the live oak, the jack pine stitching its shroud. Mosquitoes lisp in the underbrush, perched and waiting to feed, or fat, already rubied with my blood. I smash them against my arms, I smear them on my thigh. In this I take satisfaction. Sometimes I let them bite me and then just fly away. Something may as well be bred, and they can't help the fact. I mean, I am encamped, pitched in the far dark field. It's a place not even you can reach. Because every day I rise behind my own unbeautiful face in this ruined amphitheater where I pray. I mean, I play at making house alone. My small voice doesn't carry far beyond the sharp-edged grass. And I know God hears, but won't reply. This is something, but it isn't love. If I could, I'd send you a sparrow, a message scrawled on her wing. Find me. Answer this letter, if you can. I'm going to just read two more. This is a new poem that I read for the first time yesterday. And I was really having fun with the language and with thinking about the ocean. And
Too much fun.
And terms having to do with the ocean. I asked you, take me further on the gray schismatic sea, ocean to where I can't discern the dark hold of my body from its breath. Each precise impingement etched in my pliant skin, further into silver liveried light, where each unruly instance was wind and wind and wind, shearing the rampant spirit from its lung. Sailcloth sacked in the maelstrom, kelp in its seams of salt, the rock shore laved, heretical, we lawless to each other as the sea. I shouted, break or give me to or from myself. You might have said bird or bidden, I didn't hear. We pressed toward the far, unyielding, spindled star. I bent my eyes to the weld light, one blue point to harbor my descent. But freighters tacked the shoreline. You at the bulkhead balked. Boats drew in their gill nets. I watched as the White Museum shut its wings. And you, avast, my promiser, with your sheets, your holdfast hands. What of the coracle? What of the cormorant? What of the waterbird's dream? How they stand aghast on the pilings, now that the sign on the boathouse reads, no wake. I'll just read one more. If I can find it. This is beatification of the last queen of the May. Let's see, is there anything you should know? No. There were hyacinths warm as waffles, and starvation seemed just like a dream, silvery and elegant as the apple blossoms churning out their suds in the small groves on the hillsides. Because the moon was a lavender salt lick, and because when I opened my mouth, a girl ghost flickered right out of my throat. Then I walked through the streets as a penitent, begging you for a word. Then I climbed the 100 basilica steps on my knees. Then I lit 1,000 votives and wept 1,000,000 tears. I begged for a God who could hear me. I annealed myself in prayer. Still, you pressed your hands to my lips till I wasn't real. Outside, there was mud, and crocuses sprang up like purple speakers from the loam. Deafening frog song pumped from tiny unseen frogs. There were little lame balloon men afoot in every square, trolling for dates in every city park. How they wheeled their tanks past the fountains, how they twisted balloons into shapes. Rocket ships and monkeys, skyscrapers and giraffes. Then the streets unfurled a renaissance of bikes. You don't even know which questions. You don't even know which words. I wanted your voice to be in me. I wanted the dirt on your hands. Because the grass was as green as instinct, and algae spread through the pond like a diver's hair, like the horseshoe nebula. Now it's spring on the carnival rides, on the buildings' banners saying, do, do, do. Next time we'll be strangers, but I swear I'll know who you are. I promise I'll be the three-headed dog, all sliding tongue. I promise I'll be the boatman. Look, I can swim the length of the pool in a single breath. When I fell asleep on a park bench, sunlight filled my face. Now I am illumined. My skin is a radiant isotope. My heart is a sea wasp pulsing under glass. In the dream, my teeth were icons. In the dream, my teeth fell out of my mouth like stars. Another dream. Thank you very much for coming.